Of all the planets in all the worlds, the Doctor has to land on ours. But why would a 900-year-old Time Lord want to mingle with us mere mortals? He may look human.
I'm a Time Lord.
He may sound human.
I'm the last of the Time Lords.
But anyone from Gallifrey is a long way from home.
I'm left travelling on my own because there's no one else.
So why is he on Earth? And what's he hiding? Doctor Who Confidential is about to find out.
One of the problems Doctor Who is its greatest strength can be its greatest weakness, in that you've got the freedom to go anywhere in time and space. And that is wonderful and liberating. It can also get annoying because it means there's no anchor, there's no connection to the people watching, which is a very, very important thing. And you're only going to do that by constantly bringing Rose back to Earth.
How long have I been gone?
About 12 hours.
Story-wise, it feels good. It grounds it again. You know, you can go to the end of the universe so long as you know you can come back. If you just go to the end of the universe and stay there, then you've lost me.
Oh. Right, I won't be long. I just want to see my mum.
What are you going to tell her?
I don't know. I've been to the year 5 billion and only been gone, what, 12 hours? No, I just tell her I spent the night at Shreen's. See you later.
And it's funny, as a cast and crew, it's like every time we come back to a Jackie and Mickey episode, there's a bit of a buzz, actually. It's like we like getting them back in.
There's implications of someone disappearing. Do you know what I mean? This is the age of CCTV everywhere. There's implications of someone being gone for more than a day before alerts start, happening.
I was going to come and see ya.
Someone owes Mickey an apology.
I'm sorry.
I think they kept her coming back because it was to show how it affected her mother and her boyfriend.
How old are you then? 40? 45? What, do you find her on the internet? Just go online and pretend you're a doctor?
I am a doctor.
Prove it. Stitch this, mate.
The Doctor cares about humanity and other races generally, but he's not great one-on-one. He sort of avoids one-on-one situations.
I can't tell her. I can't even begin. She's never going to forgive me. And I missed a year. Was it good?
Middling.
It's so useless.
So he doesn't want to get into all that messy area of feelings, and he has huge feelings for the world, but domestic. He doesn't like domestic. He doesn't do domestic.
Are you going to stay here now?
I don't know. I can't do that to her again, though.
Well, she's not coming with us.
No chance.
I don't do families.
She slapped you.
900 years of time and space, and I've never been slapped by someone's mother.
Your face.
It hurts.
You're so gay.
He was a kind of anti-hero. He's fallible. I always thought he was fallible. I mean, maybe that's just the way I like to play him, because I was fallible.
You have affection for this woman.
She's a friend.
And you do not consider friendship a weakness.
I do not.
Kill her.
It also, struck me when I used to watch the programme that, at the moment when the story starts, if he just left, then it'd be far the best thing to do. I mean, he created many more problems than he solved, actually, in the end. So he's a man of principle, I suppose, and he did his best.
No! Such a reaction is not a disadvantage.
No.
You are mistaken. I now have control over you, Doctor. All I need do is threaten the woman's death for you to obey me.
The fact that the Doctor looks like a human being, because clearly it's advantageous to have a human actor playing the part, can make it easy to overlook the fact that he comes from Gallifrey. He's a Time Lord. He's been around for 900 years and seen some pretty spectacular and some pretty horrid things.
You're 900 years old.
Yeah.
My mum was right. That is one hell of an age gap.
He's going to have different priorities. He's going to have different passions.
My mother's cooking.
Good. Put her on a slow eat and let her simmer.
She's cooking tea for us.
I don't do that.
She wants to get to know you.
Tough. I've got better things to do.
It's just tea.
Not to me, it isn't.
She's my mother.
Well, she's not mine.
That's not fair.
Well, you can stay there if you want.
If you put together the sum of all the episodes that Doctor has done and imagine actually going through all those things, it's no wonder that he can be erratic on occasions.
Your choice.
I think it's quite charming that, with all our weaknesses, that this alien with all these powers and this compassion and this ability seems to have an affection for an imperfect race like ours.
In episodes 4 and 5, this imperfect race are under threat once again.
We are the Slitheen.
And have the honour of forming the first cliffhanger of the new series.
Well, I used to like the cliffhangers. I thought they were an integral part of the programme. Although, at my time, between episodes 1 and 2, there was only one day rather than a week.
Are you ready?
I don't think that affected the length of the cliffhanger, or indeed the length of the repeat. It's almost more relevant the next day, which is when they replay the cliffhanger, but of course this time you get out of it.
Your very last declaration. Nothing special. We're innocent. We've had no trial. We've had no opportunity to defend ourselves. In short, this is a mockery of justice.
It's an essential part of it, I think. You know the Doctor's not going to get killed, and yet many of the cliffhangers, one particularly, I remember, I get shot.
Take aim.
That is the cliffhanger. I'm dead. But of course, it's not really me. It's just a replica.
Androids. But so lifelike. I could have sworn they were human.
They were a great excuse to overact as well. That's because you could always be forgiven because you're about to be shot or your companion was about to die. And then the next day it was just fine.
No, I slip hands in the air over here. Why? Because I'll kill you if you don't. Not a very persuasive argument, actually, Stubbs, because I'm going to die soon anyway. Unless, of course, I'll give it to a count of 3. Unless, of course, I can find the antidote. I owe it to my friend to try because I got her into this. So you see, I'm not going to let you stop me now.
In the old days, a cliffhanger would be a cliffhanger. It would stop, it would end, and you would watch it again the next week on the strength of how the episode had ended. Because we didn't used to have a huge amount of telly when we were young, so you would have to go to the cinema to see something that was actually laid on for you. And then you would see these serials like Flash Gordon, and they would always end on a cliffhanger because the idea was you had to come back next week to the cinema, pay your money, and watch it again. Doctor Who was a classic example of this. I watched it solidly for about 10 years, and it was always about the end that made you excited, because the end would often be a reveal of a monster. And that would always be saved up for the last minute, because then you'd see the monster, be scared, and have to watch it next week to see the monster again. These days, of course, you probably wouldn't dare do it, because people have got so many other things to do, especially kids. Kids have got enough things to do just on their mobiles now to not ever watch television ever again. So you've got to keep them watching and then hope that they enjoyed it so much that they'll watch again next week and start the slate clean again.
I have my doubts about the necessity of constant cliffhangers all the time.
Thank you all for wearing your ID cards.
I think when you get them right, they're magnificent.
They'll help to identify the bodies.
At the end of episode 4 is the most exciting thing in the world, and your scalp rises off your head because it's so brilliant. I don't think you can hit that all the time. And time will prove us right. You know, I'll be hopefully sitting in a year's time discussing Series 2 and working out whether we were right about cliffhangers or not. But so far, I think we are.
Deadly to humans, maybe.
So, while world domination was not going to be easy for the Slitheen, just bringing these aliens to life was no easy task either. Combining the latest in prosthetic design and computer-generated technology, there are more to these nasty green giants than meets the eye.
We'll start with the actor wearing a prosthetic, sort of unzipping their forehead. then we cut to a person, a sort of character mover, wearing a green suit, and they have this prosthetic that they appear to be sort of breaking out from within.
So it's sort of all as one piece?
Yeah, it's all as one and it kind of rolls down.
Okay.
Do you want to tuck it into the skirts?
Oh, there.
That's it, yeah.
I figured out like, how it was going to look.
And we then basically have a completely CGI Slitheen that we put over the top of the actor inside the green suit's movements and put that together with the element of the real prosthetic that was sort of shrivelling down the actor. And that's how we created that effect.
In addition to CGI, the prosthetic suits are a mixture of rubber, fiberglass and simple mechanics.
The hardest part is the arms, because they're the heaviest. There's a framework inside, and then there's 3 rings that you put these 3 fingers into. But with the weight of the arm as well, it's actually quite a lot of weight. But it's good fun.
Taking over Downing Street can be tiring work.
A lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been quite physical. The first majorly physical thing I did was actually lifting Nav, who's playing Indra in one of the episodes, and lifting him up by his throat. He was on a winch, and so basically the shot was me bringing the arm into shot, clutching him by the throat and lifting him into the air, which is just a really cool feeling, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's on the winch and you've got a guy at the other end pulling the rope up and taking the slack. He just goes straight up. That scene was great fun to do. The reason why a lot of people become actors, you just get paid to dress up and play.
And it's not just a job for the boys.
The difference for me is that I've tried to find a slightly more female way of moving. So I'm slightly more sort of hippie than the fellas. And also, the costume is the same size as the blokes, but obviously because I'm smaller, I'm completely inside mine. So I have a bit of a J-Lo bottom.
Oh, excuse me.
What's going on here?
We have problems because we're actually 8 feet tall and we have to squash down into human bodies. So there's a bit of gas exchange that happens that's embarrassing and amusing, and any British person will enjoy it enormously.
Excuse me, do you mind not farting while I'm saving the world?
Would you rather silent but deadly?
But when aliens crash into the Thames, it's no laughing matter.
In The Aliens of London, it begins with what Russell describes in his script as the perfect spaceship crash over London, which involved building a 3D model for the spaceship and animating it. And it's actually the last shot in that sequence, one of my favourite shots in all the episodes. Sort of done what I call photoreal water, which is quite a challenge in sort of animation terms.
You can see here that the ship feels like it's hitting the camera, give it that impression that you're really in the water and it's coming at you, hitting you in the face. On the original, our water is not affected by our spaceship because it's not really there. So we had to recreate the surface of the water again, and he used the simulation of the model hitting this to create this effect, this kind of wave effect. And then what I did next is I got a couple of practical elements, which was a splash here, which is just from some old footage, and we've got this splash element here, which is actually sand. Sand's always a good thing to use practically for water because it gets the scale of the water to create a little bit more impact when it hits the water. So you get this sort of big splash, and as you can see, there's the real element of the splash I just showed you, and then you get all this spray which comes from the sand. So the next thing I did was I got another bit of old 2D footage of the underwater. I made it look a bit browner, because obviously Thames is not beautiful blue like the tropics. Blended that in, and then when the ship comes towards Canberra, it knocks it to really give you that impression that you're being hit.
Big Ben destroyed as a UFO crash lands in central London.
As the Doctor prepares to save Mother Earth, he's joined by some old friends who have seen it all before.
Hold on, I know that lot.
But it's looking likely that the government's bringing in alien specialists, those people who've devoted their lives to studying outer space.
UNIT, United Nations Intelligence Task Force, good people.
How do you know him?
Does he's worked for them? Oh yeah, don't think I sat on my backside for 12 months, Doctor. I read up on you. You look deep enough on the internet or in the history books and there's his name, followed by a list of the dead.
That's nice. Goodbye, Ricky.
If you know him, why don't you go and help?
They wouldn't recognise me. I've changed a lot since the old days.
When John became the Doctor, he was stuck on Earth, which certainly made it easier in terms of location and set building.
Just testing.
The BBC can get to Earth more easily than other planets. So that they conceived the idea of involving him directly with a United Nations task force led by the Brigadier.
We're not exactly spies here at UNIT.
Then what do you do, exactly?
We deal with the odd, the unexplained, and living on Earth, or even beyond.
UNIT was 4 people, Brigadier Captain Sergeant and Joe Grant. The Brigadier is in command.
Good grief! He was a man who obviously led from the front, the good officer who would not ask his men to do anything that he wouldn't do himself.
Fire! I played the captain, who some have described as being dashing, brave, heroic. I like to think I was all those things.
Captain, yes, my dear fellow, I'm terribly sorry. Think nothing of it.
And the sergeant, of course, he was your typical sort of a non-intellectual action man.
Station calling Greyhound 1. You're very faint. Please repeat. Over.
You then have Joe Grant as a sort of clever physicist or scientist of some kind. And she was given to the Doctor as an assistant.
There you are, Joe. A perfect landing.
And about time, too.
Now, Miss Grant, let's not be impatient.
She was very kooky and pretty and daft, actually, in some respects.
Must be on the blink.
I might have expected it. The TARDIS always is.
I hope you're as in good condition when you're as old as she is.
I was there to appeal to the young ones so I could translate the Doctor's scientific terms. And also you saw me grow up on screen. And suddenly Jo became, a little bit, wait a minute, Doctor. And she started to say, I'm going to help change the world myself. She started to be a little bit more emancipated as a woman. And that was happening, actually, in the world then.
Well, Jo, we better get back to Unit HQ. We've got a report to make out.
Doctor?
Hmm?
I don't think I'll be going back just yet.
Oh, you're thinking of staying here?
Well, not here exactly. Only you see, Cliff is going on this expedition to look for this fantastic fungus.
Where?
The upper reaches of the Amazon.
And he's asked me to go with him.
You want to go?
More than anything else in the world.
I see.
For John Pertwee and myself, we really developed a very strong relationship. I mean, there were people who thought that there was a little bit more to Jo and the Doctor. And I think there was a very deep love which sort of came across.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Doctor.
Deep, deep passion for each other. And Jo was, I think, deeply in love with the Doctor.
Don't go too far away, will you? And if you do, come back and see us sometimes.
There was an incredible sort of futility, actually, in the orders that UNIT was given. At one stage, we had these funny creatures came over the hill, and we shot at them. But, of course, as soon as you shoot at them, they immediately get up again afterwards.
We're under attack from all sides. Weapons are useless.
It's amazing, really, that within the story of Doctor Who, the UNIT lasted so long.
Take cover! I take cover, everyone!
As the 70s drew to a close, so did the UNIT's glory years. Although one member of the team did return for several more adventures.
I thought that was the end of the Brigadier. I was convinced that was it.
Alistair, that was the Secretary-General.
Doris, I don't care if it was the King. I'm still retired.
He said something about the Doctor being back. Alistair, who is the Doctor?
I love the Brigadier. Slightly bumbling and ineffectual, but honest and true. Then they kept him in because he was such a wonderful character, and every time a new Doctor came, they always had at least one, if not many more, stories with the Brigadier.
UNIT is a secret organisation. If you are aware of its existence, you will almost certainly have signed the Official Secrets Act.
I was blessed to have a story with them as well in Battlefield. Brigadier.
Well, nothing ventured, Doctor.
Nothing gained.
That was uncalled for!
When John Nathan Turner invited me to do the story Battlefield, he said, look, do you mind in this story if the Brigadier is killed off? And I thought about it. I said, no. If the story's a good one, let him go out in a blaze of glory. Then, as the story progressed, it couldn't happen. They changed their minds.
You stupid, stubborn, thick-headed numbskull! You're supposed to die in bed. I could have handled it. Your job.
Nonsense, Doctor.
Of course, suddenly then the Brigadier opens one eye and says, oh, there you are, Doctor, or something like that. Well, I'm going home now.
Ace?
Yes, Brigadier?
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. He's all yours from now on. I'm going home to Doris.
So he's still around, I guess. Next time it'll be in the House of Lords, I think. Lord Lethbridge Stewart for services to Queen and country.
And of course, it's UNIT who also come to the rescue in 2005.
It says password.
Say again.
It's asking for the password.
Buffalo, 2 Fs, 1 L.
So what's that website?
All the secret information known to mankind. See, they've known about aliens for years. They just kept us in the dark.
Mickey, you were born in the dark.
Oh, leave him alone.
Thank you.
I think his great wish for the human race is that they'll expand the minds, open the minds. The Doctor's tremendously open-minded, which again is a good quality for a television hero to have.
Maybe this is it. First contact. The day mankind officially comes into contact with an alien race. I'm not interfering, because you got to handle this on your own. That's when the human race finally grows up. Just this morning, you were all tiny and small and made of clay. Now you can expand.
He seems very fond of the human race, but equally, if the human race behaves unpleasantly towards an alien, he takes it very personal, obviously.
Hello?
Don't shoot! He calls them stupid apes, and he gets very frustrated with their cruelty and their negativity.
What did you do that for? It was scared! It was scared.
He had a mission, which I think was to appreciate the beautiful things in life. That's what he was trying to show. You know, violence is not necessary. You know, you don't have to kill people. You can love a sunset and the smell of a flower.
And yet there's the other side to him, which is kind of ruthless, brutal pragmatist. If something or somebody is threatening the human race or existence, he'll kill it.
Leave this planet or I'll stop you.
What? You? Trapped in your box?
Yes. Me.
I like the idea of this character going out at 7 o'clock because he's not cosy for kids. He's not comfortable. The series doesn't duck that there are difficult decisions to be made in life.
There's a way out.
What?
There's always been a way out.
Then why do we use it?
Because I can't guarantee your daughter will be safe.
Don't you dare. Whatever it is, don't you dare.
That's the thing. If I don't dare, everyone dies.
He feels himself to be the last of the Time Lords, and there's a dark secret there, which gives him a sadness, the fact that he has no home.
Do it.
You don't even know what it is. You just let me.
Yeah.
And there's a loneliness to the Doctor, which is key to his relationship with Rose.
Please, Doctor, please. She's my daughter. She's just a kid.
Do you think I don't know that? Because this is my life, Jackie. It's not fun, it's not smart, it's just standing up and making a decision. Because nobody else will.
Then what are you waiting for?
I could save the world but lose you.
He's basically saying, I'm lonely. I want somebody to come with me. And Rose has her own secret kind of tragedy. And that's what brings them together.
What are you doing?
Hacking into the Royal Navy. We're in. Sub-Harpoon UGM-84A.
That's the one. Select.
I could stop you.
Do it then.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Mickey the Idiot. The world is in your hands. Fire.
Hannibal!
Made in Britain.
Oh, my God. Are you all right?
Harriet Jones, MP Flydale North. I want you to contact the UN immediately. Tell the ambassadors the crisis is over. They can step down.
So the Doctor has saved mankind once again, but his next visit to Earth will surely test his own humanity to the limit.
There's another chance to see this week's episode of Doctor Who right here on BBC Three, tonight at 12:05 or tomorrow at 7. Take your pick. Next tonight, Farscape.